Good afternoon, crypto degens. I hope you guys are doing great today. I'm doing okay. So the market is just kind of chilling, no major movements. I did see some news about XRP here. Franklin Templeton's digital assets head, Roger Baston, said the company didn't buy XRP to gamble on its price. They bought it to actually use it. This isn't just a win for XRP either. It's a stamp of approval for the entire XRP ledger. XRP ledger, XRPL, isn't exactly the same thing as XRP. And so many people are bullish on XRP, and I think it's weird because XRP, its big, use case, the thing that it was supposed to do sometime in the future was to be like a cross-border payment system for the banks. The thing is, they don't need XRP, and I don't think many of them are using it. They're using other crypto rails and stable coins, and they don't need XRP. So why is everyone so bullish on XRP? I think we have a problem. There's like this big mind, what is it called, groupthink here. There's so many people that have bought XRP that they've bought into this lie that it's it's going to do something great in the future. Okay, so I have this little breakdown of what happens if XRP is not widely adopted for cross-border payments. So let's say, its use case that everyone is, buying and speculating on does not come to fruition. Its long-term value proposition becomes significantly weaker, but not non-existent. It depends on whether the ecosystem around it, Ripple Labs, successfully pivots into other use cases that generate real demand. So basically we're saying we've got XRP here with massive adoption. A lot of people have it, but what are they going to do with it? Like, what is Ripple going to do? What direction is it going to put XRP into so it actually lives up to the hype? It was initially designed for providing liquidity for international payments, like a replacement to SWIFT, but we know that SWIFT has actually been being updated with blockchain. So that's not happening. Enable near instant settlement via Ripple's on-demand liquidity. If that fails to scale, demand for XRP as a bridge asset declines. Banks may still use Ripple tech, but without XRP. So Ripple is not equal to XRP utility. Are they pivoting? Let's see. Real world assets. They are pushing actively the XRP ledger, XRPL, for tokenized stocks, bonds, and real estates, CBDCs. It's potentially fast and cheap, suitable for asset insurance, competes with Ethereum and Solana. So it's still early, has no dominant adoption yet. So basically, XRP has gone from its initial use case to now competing with Ethereum and Solana on tokenized assets. With the XRPL ledger, which is not the same as the XRP coin. So is that a great position to be in? I don't know. So Ripple announced USD-backed stablecoin initiatives on XRPL with the goal of positioning XRPL as a settlement layer for stablecoins. But we've already got lots of settlement layers for stablecoins. Ethereum has a ton, Solana has a ton. There's other chains that have a ton of that. So what does XRP, what's special about XRP aside from the fact that a lot of people are hodling it because they expect it to go up in the future? So Ripple is working with governments on private versions of XRP for central banks. These systems often do not require XRP itself. Good for Ripple's business, unclear if it benefits XRP holders. So I guess the question is always, is if they're using XRPL, is XRP needed for, transactions and liquidity? I mean, does it force the use of XRP? Because yesterday there was or the other day I made a video about the debate over Chainlink and how does the Link token fit into what Chainlink does. So it's very important that the coin itself needs to be used if the chain is being used. So there are also some DeFi on XRP, automated market makers, basic DeFi functionality. However, XRP is far behind Ethereum, Solana, and others. Developer ecosystem remains limited. This is what I'm saying. It's like now they have to move to compete with Ethereum and Solana and others, but they're behind. Ethereum and Solana already have so many things going, and XRPL is a ledger, it's a blockchain, so they need developers, but all developers are already on the other chains. So the strengths, they have strong brand recognition. A lot of people have it. Regulatory clarity improving after legal battles, because they had the legal battle that's resolved. And then they have the partnerships via Ripple. The weaknesses is the limited organic demand outside speculation. That's what I'm saying. This is all speculation, mostly speculation on XRP. Many use cases don't require XRP. Competing chains dominate innovation. So, for me, this is a lot of hype, a lot of hopium, people owning XRP, and that might keep the price up, and it might pump if we have some alt season action, might pump just as much as other tokens or more than other tokens, but real adoption, real world use case is not there like people imagine it to be. So that's my 2 cents, and that's why I'm not big on XRP. That's why I'm not a fan. If you want to diversify, you can hold it, because if we have some alt pumps, it's going to pump because people are going to pump it. But I'm just stacking coins that have real world utility at this point. I need to see that the coin has that, it's getting used, for like banks, and it's getting a lot of tokenization and RWA, and otherwise, I'm not buying it. So let's look at some other news. There was a big thing here today. The latest draft of the Clarity Act shows both sides backing a compromise on stablecoin yield rules. The problem is that the deal allows rewards tied to stablecoin activity and not just holding stablecoins. That has to be defined what the activity is and how frequent. But it seems like the banks have won again. Because if you can't just put your money in a stablecoin and earn yield because it's competing with the banks, that means the banks won. And I'm like, screw this. Just don't make a Clarity Act. Just don't make clarity. Like, one person did mention that this maybe will allow for more people to actually hold coins to get the yield. So if you want to hold another coin to get yield, it has to be a good coin, good quality coin, one of the top coins that it's going to come back, because it's so volatile. Even if you make 10% or whatever yield you get on it, you're going to lose 40-50% unless it comes back. So that was the good thing about stable coins. You could get a good yield on the stable coin, and you knew it was stable. It wasn't like a normal crypto. So Wendy O says, once no yield on stable coins passes, the last frontier of liberty dies for retail. The wealth gap grows. There's no win. There's no changing it later. The same entities you are a slave to won again. If you think life is hard now, you have no idea what's coming. Yeah, the banks win. The big guys, the ones that have the power and the influence, they win. And this is garbage. It's basically garbage. So the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, removes caps on Bitcoin and Ethereum options. So they lifted a 25,000 contract limit on Bitcoin and ETF. So effective immediately. So hey, that's sounds good to me. Okay, the most conservative money on Wall Street just moved, according to 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗃. Vanguard, 12 trillion in assets, just bought 680 million of MicroStrategy, or strategy now. So that's not a hedge fund chasing pumps, not retail buying hype. This is the most boring, careful, long-term money in existence, quietly front-running a structural shift. The big boys know what's going on, and they're slowly and quietly buying Bitcoin, and they're buying other crypto too. Maybe they're not talking about it, but they're thinking, well, what's the next big thing that's going to come down? Is it Solana? Is it XRP? What is it? And they're buying. So these are the most, I saw this from CryptoGeeks, and it's the most popular RWA coins. So on the list, we've got VET, EL, ZBCN, HBAR. I have no idea what EL and ZBCN are, but HBAR, okay. AVAX, yes, I knew that. HTR, XLM, Algo, ICP, Token, GFI, DIA and Ingen. So ING. Yeah, but there's most popular RWA coins. Well, there's, I mean, Solana and Ethereum, and there's several other ones. But anyways, this is the list that they have here. So, you know, BET and HBAR and AVAX and XLM and Algorand and ICP. A lot of well-known tokens here. Ingen. So Bitmine just made 600 million in one day. ETH pumped 6%. So that's 600 million in unrealized gains. Of course, they didn't make the money. They would have to sell their ETH to make the money. But that's, you know, they've got so much money in. That's how much money they make in one day. So imagine if ETH doubles or triples. It's the same with MicroStrategy. You know, he's barely making profit right now, or he's not in profit, but in the moment it just goes up a little bit more than just insane profits. So the 𝘂 is now live, issued by stablecoin and Stripe company. 𝘂 is a native digital dollar built for scalable financial and global payments. Like I said in a video, I don't know if it was yesterday or Friday, stable coins are just going to go crazy. I mean, all the banks are going to publish their own stable coins, and just because it's profitable. It's profitable. They make money on the transactions. So it's going to get, I think it's going to get pretty saturated. We're going to get saturated with stable coins. So just stick to the well-known ones, the USDT, the USDC. Larry Fink says tokenization will transform finance like the internet did in the 1990s. That's what I thought when I first saw the whole crypto market. I'm like, whoa, this is huge. It's not just Bitcoin. There is something really big happening here. And I thought of the internet starting, because when the internet started, I was in college, and that became my life. I didn't go to classes. I just went to the lab, and I started chatting on the networks. There were no browsers yet. And the rest is history. So yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about crypto. And that's why I'm like, man, I gotta buy. Okay, so according to 𝘃𝗿𝗄𝗏, Bitcoin is becoming a global monetary system and the store value of choice. As tension escalates, markets shook. As de-escalation signals hit, Bitcoin stabilized and moved higher. In a world of geopolitical conflict, capital looks for neutral global assets. BTC has a fixed supply, 21 million cap, while traditional systems remain exposed to political and monetary risk. So this is from 𝘃𝗿𝗄𝗏, big Bitcoin bull, I guess. Japan to reduce crypto profit tax to 20% benefit starting April 2026, slashing it down from 55%. My goodness, 55%. So they were really anti-crypto. 22% is like more of a normal, or 20% is like a normal tax. Still too high, of course. Tom Lee, markets are ignoring the bearish setup. Wall Street came in ready to short. Positioning was for the downside. Long war, risk off, lower prices. Instead, markets are rallying. That's the signal. When everyone expects bad news and prices refuse to go down, it means the selling is already done. Demand is stronger than the narrative. Yeah, I feel like crypto always does the opposite of what you expect. It starts going up, it starts pumping, you think it's going to keep pumping, and then it dumps. And then it's super low, and then we have all this stuff happening, war, this and that, uncertainty, and then Bitcoin goes up. It's just, you never know what to expect. All you can do is DCA and the good ones, especially when you feel like the market is low. Benjamin Cowan apparently is a well-known crypto finance dude. Bitcoin has been bleeding to gold since December 2024. So we're still losing to gold here. Lark Davis. Michael Saylor says, hunting bears. Shiv says, respect to all the founders still building through despite how bad the market is. Most people don't appreciate how difficult it is to still show up while everything is down badly. I know how you feel. There's a small group of founders in crypto Twitter who haven't left, didn't rug, and didn't go quiet. Instead, you see them adapting, finding new revenue, and continuing to ship. There's a founder out there you know like this. Do something today and show them some love. It costs you nothing, and I mean, it means more than you think. These are the people pushing the industry forward. Yes, it's hard to talk about crypto, and it's hard to be excited when nothing is happening. And that's the way it's been for a while. Like, nothing is happening. Crypto is so exciting. It's so addictive when everything is going up. It's like, wow. But when nothing is happening, that's the best time to get in, best time to get your foot in the door. That's the time to get started. Because when everything's going crazy, everybody's trying to get in, everybody's it's, you know, it's harder to get a position. So that's my 2 cents. So investor Jordan says, I've been in crypto for 11 years. Ironically, I feel safer buying BTC at 65,000 than I did at 1,500. Safer buying ETH at 2,000 than at $75. Back then it was speculation. Now it's inevitable that every institution or government in the world will be stockpiling. Yeah, I mean, the gains, the potential gains are much less, but it's very well established. So it's a trade-off. This is hilarious. If Elon Musk had invested in NFTs in 2022. That's a good meme. Do you realize how tiny the 125,000 to 60,000 Bitcoin drop is going to be in the future? You literally won't believe, just be able to see it on the chart unless you zoom in, man. I can't speak today. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Bitcoin's not going to go up forever. It's not going to go up forever. Maybe it'll go to 1 million without like mega inflation. But unless we get mega inflation, it's not going to go up forever. People, institutions are going to look for other assets that are better priced and have more upside. Screenshot from 2035, just hodl and chill. So we've got Bitcoin at 2 million, ETH at 80,000, XRP 53,000, Sol at 4,230, BNB at 16,000. Yeah, I don't know if this is just hopium. It's possible. Sol at 4,230. If that happens, I'm going to have a lot of money. But, you know, I would... Sol at 1,000, well, 2035. I mean, it just depends how much adoption we get, you know, how much adoption. Are a lot of businesses, a lot of places going to be using these blockchains, or they're all going to be like, oh, we're going to make our own blockchain. It depends on a lot of things, a lot of factors. But I think Sol could make it to 4,000. Yes, that's possible. But 1,000 to 2,000 is, I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you go back and look at these .com companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, some of these companies, I mean, they were dirt cheap and they went up like, I don't know what insane amount on the stock market. So if those could do that on the stock market, these could do much more in the crypto market. That feeling when your 25x leverage position finally hits the take profit target. That is a serious high jump there. Or not high jump, but what is it called? I forgot what it's called. So when you survive the last 4 years, FTX, Luna, Celsius, 3AC, China bans, Mt. Gox unlocks, Melania rug, Germany selling, CZ jail, wars, tariffs, and then Bitcoin goes 126,000 to 60,000. This is from Breaking Bad, the dude from Breaking Bad. Yeah, that's the dude from Breaking Bad. Well, that's it. That's it for today. I hope you guys have a great day, a great evening. Enjoy your life. Be happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.